What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. I want y'all to take a listen to this.
Terence Crawford, and pros are torn about the decision. Let's check it out. After losing to Terence Crawford, Spence was adamant that he wanted to run things over again at some point.
Yeah, we gotta do it again. That will be a lot better. It's gonna be a lot closer. It's probably gonna be in December, say for the end of the year. So yeah, we gotta do it again.
Terence didn't know anything about an official date for the rematch, but he had thought it would probably be for later this year at some point. Terence stated, "I think Errol is strong-minded and strong-willed individual. I feel as if he will go back to the drawing board and come back stronger and hungrier, and try to fix the things he needs to fix to make the fight look different second time around. That's the only thing I can actually sense. He gave me the opportunity, so it's only right that I give him the credit. If it happens, it'll probably be the end of this year." When it comes to predictions for a rematch, pros are torn on whether they think a rematch will actually change anything. Mikey Garcia stated, "I think Crawford still wins. His skill level is that much better. I do think the weight might have been a factor. I think Spence was probably not able to hydrate well enough. He killed himself to make weight, and he probably stuck around at welterweight for a little too long. That all may have been a factor in the way he performed, but the skill level that Crawford brings to the ring is just that bit better." Anthony Joshua thinks that Spence will be much tougher for the rematch with Crawford. Anthony stated, "That's not the Errol we know. He'll be back better. If you look at it for what it is, and I rate Terence Crawford before this fight, Terence is an elite fighter, so is Errol. Now, Errol just wasn't, I know that guy just wasn't the guy I watched many times before. I didn't see everything in training camp because we had different times, but I did see him working hard. But just from a performance point of view, I think they should have confidence in themselves, knowing in the rematch if they get whatever happened in the training camp, which was going wrong. If they get it right, I think I'll give Bud a much tougher fight. Errol didn't land on his back. He wasn't knocked out on his back. He got stopped on his feet. So run it back and start again. I think they should definitely go again. I don't think he should retire." Floyd Mayweather had to share a bit of advice with Spence on the topic of a rematch.
I want the best for Earl Spence. So, if I was training him or I was in his corner, I don't think he should be fighting at 147 at all. I don't think he should be fighting at 154.
Really?
I think he should be fighting at 160 or 168.
Wow.
That's just my honest opinion. You know, but once again, I don't have no say so. You know, when these guys, you know, certain fighters, when they want to fight, our job is to line it up. And us fighters, we're warriors. We always want to fight the best. It's just how it is.
Canelo doesn't think that a rematch will really change anything for Spence. Canelo stated, "I don't think it's time for Spence to retire. Crawford was just the best man that night, but if they fight again, it's just going to be the same thing. Crawford, is a better fighter. I respect Spence and I like Spence, but Crawford has everything." Malik Scott didn't like seeing Spence get hit like that, and he isn't too keen on seeing it happen again.
All right. So basically, this video, this guy, what they did was they took a bunch of different videos of people, and he just basically narrated it down to what they said. Now, I just did a video about, Jeff Mayweather and different people saying that they don't think that Crawford should rematch Spence at 154. That he should have him rematch at 147. And basically, me making this video was to basically piggyback off of that video and make a few more points clear. This is what I'm saying. Spence and Crawford's battle was to see who was the best at 147. You can't take back what happened. All right, they fought, Crawford dominated. Simple. You can't redo that. You can rematch though. The Warrior and Crawford. Okay? If that's what he still tapped into, will make him say, "I don't care, 147, 154. I beat him once, I'm coming to beat him again." Nobody has said they think that on this video, but it's going through this commercial nonsense and whatever. So, but none of them have said they think Spence will win the rematch. The most they said is, well, you never know what can happen. I get that. because looking at what happened, okay, he got dominated. But what they all have been saying, and this is where I'm saying nobody is making no damn excuses for Errol Spence. If Terrence Crawford, if it's hard for him to make 147, right? But it's obviously he's more disciplined than Spence in his training, and that's great for Crawford. And like I said, Spence need to step it up with that, because I think you heard me say this shit. I even said this shit last year. I feel like Spence gains too much weight and then he burns it off too fast, and he doesn't get that strength back as he's rehydrating. This is not about a fucking excuse. This is just reality of shit that happens, okay? Because I guess for people that don't go to the gym, that don't train, that don't know what the fuck goes on, you don't think about this shit. But you want to keep your fighters in shape. Just training and not trying to make a particular weight is not the same thing. That's why you got to watch what you eat. That's why you got to watch how much you drink. You got to, all of this shit. When I'm watching this video and I'm thinking before, it's common sense. Even before I saw this video, it's if Crawford, okay, if it's tough for him to make 147 and he walks around 173, 175, whatever. Okay, Spence walks around 193 pounds. So he's even that much heavier than Crawford, which means that even if he takes the weight off in a more healthy fashion and keep his weight down, he's still going to rehydrate much bigger, more solid than at a heavier weight than Crawford will. So when you hear Floyd saying he don't even think that Spence should still be fighting at 147, nobody's making excuses. And you heard Floyd say he think he should be like fighting at either 160 or 168. This is what happens. And look at Floyd. Floyd is a guy who basically knew there's no need for him to go higher than what than 154. Because his body's not, I'm ballooning up after in between fights. This is what I'm saying. Look at Devin Haney. And this is why when I listen to people talk, you guys have said Shakur Stevenson has outgrown 130, right? And that he could even go higher than 135. This dude is big. Lomachenko have said the same thing about Haney, and so have other people. Haney's been saying for the longest, man, that's why he always says, being honest, and say, we'll see what happens. We're going to make, what makes sense. If you're struggling to make weight and you know that you can't perform at the way that you at your highest level, you know that you can't go in there and do the things that you normally would be able to do, it's time to go up in weight. It's as simple as that. The problem that people have with this bias and immaturity, it's just a lot of immaturity. It's a lot of ignorance and immaturity. It's just like, for example, let's say if he didn't fight Lomachenko. All the years, 3 years, he was calling out Lomachenko, right? Devin Haney. Let's say it's to the point where he's like, I just can't make the weight, man. I'm trying and I just can't. It's like, it's killing me to do this. If he went up, that's what Paulie Malignaggi said he was going to do, right? He's going to use the weight as an excuse and not fight against Lomachenko, which is where, like I said, he's coming from a space of hate. One, here you are, a former fighter. So you know what you have to do to make weight. Okay, I don't know what Paulie struggles, have he ever had struggles with making weight, but you know that this these things happen. So instead of him saying, basically he just said way too much anyway and put his foot in his mouth. But the bottom line is these things happen. Instead of you saying it's going to be difficult for him to make the weight, looking at him, he walks around way bigger than that. You're saying he's going to use it as an excuse. So nobody has a legitimate reason for not doing certain things. However, he went through and he went and he had to fight. He went through with the fight. So the thing is timing. If Terrence Crawford is willing to go up to 160, 168 and fight there, then Errol Spence can do the same thing, definitely. I said the same thing about Jamal and Jamel Charlo. This is why, like, when Jamal Charlo was telling Demetrius Andre, you know, but I never fought at 168 before. That it's like, so what? You can punch. You know, you can punch. What the hell do you mean? So what? You never fought at 168. If there's a concern, because, well, I never fought at this weight before. You heard Roy Jones say, when he went up to 175, he was saying, I never been punched by, you know, a guy that big, so I don't know what it feel like. And who the guy he fought? Murky Sosa. Remember when he fought Murky Sosa at 175? I remember him saying, like, you know, these guys are a lot bigger. Yeah, they are. So the concern is not a fear, like I'm scared to fight you. It's a, I got to train and spar and get my weight up to the end, you know. But I just saying, I remember what the comment he made, a comment something about maybe where he mix it up or something to that effect, or how is he going to fight him? Something that he said something to the effect of, you know, it depends as long as his punches don't hurt too much, or something to that effect. Like joking, but whatever. But, you know, but the point is, when you fight at a certain weight class and you got good fighters there, fighters are worried about, if I leave this weight class, people are going to say I'm ducking these guys. But if you can't perform at your highest level in that weight class, it's time to move up. That's why it's not good to do too much of this. Because if you're calling names out and always have something to say, but then you know you're struggling to make the weight, it's an issue. Everybody that spoke on that video said the same things. They don't think that Spence was strong in that fight. They think that the weight bothers him. You always got a bunch of lames. Oh, man, when he beat Ugas, nobody said nothing. When he beat this guy, when he beat that guy, nobody said nothing. Okay. So now it's an excuse because people are saying he didn't look right. So was it an excuse when we were saying AJ didn't look right against Andy Ruiz? Was that an excuse, or he didn't look right? Was it an excuse when Deontay Wilder took off his mask and he himself saying, you could tell something was wrong when I took my mask off and how I was blinking my... See, y'all are so selective with who's lying and who's not. I'm not in no mixed bag with anybody. I don't need to make no damn excuses for nobody. I said, and I mean it, I don't know that him fighting, you know, Crawford at 154 is going to be any different. He has to change, you know, the way he fought against Crawford. He has to change those things, or the weight's not going to help him. He has to change his fighting style for Crawford. That shit he was doing is not going to work. Was it due to him being drained? I don't know. But every fighter that's speaking on it is saying the same things. Because we understand what happens in that ring, what happens in training. We understand that sometimes you just get to the ring, things just don't go right that night. Was Sugar Ray Leonard making an excuse when he said he felt great when he was training for Terry Norris? And he said, they asked him, like, when did he know that pretty much that the fight was over for him? Sugar Ray, and they was talking about from bell to bell. Sugar Ray said he actually felt like he was going to lose. He knew he was going to lose on the ring walk. He's like, it's just something like when I was walking to the ring, I don't know. I just felt like I'm going to lose. And that's what happened. Okay. Excuses, yeah, people make a lot of excuses about things, but it's just, we've gotten to a point now where everybody's in the same ball of wax. Nobody can speak about anything and be genuine, right? Everything has to be, excuses. No, we can talk all of this shit. We seen Holyfield fight with a hole in his heart. We didn't know what happened, but we know something looked like it was wrong. People are, oh, he's tired. Even the bottom line is when you find out that no, something was wrong, then it's like, you know, now what? Know it all. All of this person was this and that. I looked at Errol Spence in that fight, and I remember thinking, like, you know, he's getting his ass whooped, but he just didn't look right. Simple. So for Errol Spence, you walk around at 100. Just think about this. Even if he fought at 160, coming from 193 is 33 pounds. You understand what I mean? So this is what, yeah. Now imagine he's fighting at 147 and goes up to 193. So yeah, I understand what Floyd is saying, and then those heavier weights will suit him better. It's less weight to cut, and he'll honestly be a lot stronger in that sense. But at the same time, at the same time, once you agree to to terms, then it's on you. So, nobody should be saying, oh, Terrence Crawford ducking him, he don't want to fight him at 150. No. And I made the video speaking about that. Like I said, if he chose to say 147, then it doesn't, he's not doing anything wrong. But if the issue is that Errol Spence just simply having more trouble, making 147. And anybody with common sense knows the older you get, your body starts to fill out more. You start to gain weight till you get to the point where you start to get older and less active, and then people start to get smaller with old age. But at this point, he's 33, 34, whatever. Yeah, your body grows. So more than anything, his body has outgrown the welterweight division. So that's what I'm saying. Nobody's trying to make excuses for Errol Spence, man. It was just the whole point of me saying if they fight at 154, again, that doesn't mean he wins. He obviously feels more comfortable having to cut less weight. But tactically, he's going to have to be different. Just fighting at 154 alone is not going to be enough. So what I'm saying is all of those guys were saying the same things. Most people, look, there's hardly anybody that thinks that Errol Spence can win this rematch. So, like I said, quite naturally, looking at what happened, yeah, I can understand why people feel the way they do. But this is something that fighters are going to have to start to understand. Once you outgrow a weight class, there's no need to stick around and look bad just to say, I fought the guy. So this is where I feel like fighters need to stop talking so much, put that work in the gym, and when they go into the ring, they're ready. Because there's no way. That would be like me coming down from 250 trying to fight at cruiserweight. Like, no. And they added this bridgerweight thing, right? So yeah, I could come down and do that. But imagine coming down from 250 to 190 pounds. That would be stupid. Like, for what? So yeah, I'll be in there muscular, ripped up, stocky, but not at full strength. And that's what they overlook. They see muscularity and think, oh, he's ready, he's in shape. But no, when you take that weight off too fast, and that's the discretion of the fighter in his camp. You have to keep your weight down. But I just felt like, the rest of the video is the same thing. It's just different fighters. And they're all saying pretty much the same things. Nobody's saying that they think he's going to win. Errol, him and AJ is stablemates now. But like he's saying, he think it'll be a different fight. He'll give Terrence a better fight. Nobody's saying he'll win. And like I tell people, it's not about a dispute about who will win the fight or who we think will win the fight. It's just basically, the point is, and it's not just an Errol Spence thing, it's anybody. It's anybody. You see like a guy like Paulie Malignaggi. Guys like him and Joey Camacho, right? Guys that don't have a lot of power. It's fatal for them to go up in weight as they get older. Because now, the higher up you go, you're coming across fighters that really can punch, and you can't punch. So that little bit of power you have, when you want to talk about power carrying over, what are you carrying over when you can't punch? Now, look at what Sean Porter did to Paulie Malignaggi, right? You know how many other fighters would have did the same thing? Because he can't hurt them, but they can hurt him, which means he can't keep anything off. He has nothing to keep them off. So especially that kind of style, when he comes up against those type of fighters, he's going to have issues. Zab Judah said he had the flu when he fought against Paulie Malignaggi. Zab Judah's a person that a lot of people like. So I don't know. But I didn't hear people saying he's making up excuses, right? I just didn't understand how the hell Paulie was able to beat Zab so easy. And I'm like, same thing. Zab don't look right, man. Nobody was making excuses for Zab. And it didn't come out till years later where he said, I honestly had the flu. And some other shit that they were talking about. But I said the same thing. Like, he just did not look right. He didn't look good at all against Paulie. Nobody really cared too much. You understand what I mean? So it wasn't a big deal to people. But he didn't look right in that fight. But like I said, again, you find out later something was wrong. To be so, but yeah, man, well, he agreed to it. Yeah, true. But that doesn't mean that shit can't happen. That doesn't mean shit doesn't, of course, things happen. I remember it's like you hear fighters that fight and they'll tell you they broke their hand, but they still won. They were reduced to just throwing one hand. Does that mean that they could have beat just anybody? They beat that fighter that night. Now imagine a fighter breaks his hand in another fight and lose, and people say, last time when you fought, you had a broken hand, it didn't affect him, so why are you going to make an excuse now? Like, okay, wait, dummy. So you really think that a man that has one hand, okay, he's reduced to using one hand, you really think that's not a factor in the fight? So it's the same thing as Errol Spence's style being able to beat these other guys, but it didn't work against Crawford. And Roy talked about him being thrown out of the car and all that stuff. Okay, so bottom line, regardless, it didn't work against Crawford. And whether the weight, whatever it may be. And this is the whole thing what I'm saying. This is why I get sick of these little kids coming on my channel talking shit. Not like, pay attention. Pay attention to what's being said. This has nothing to do with who you like or don't like or whatever. There's been many times when you've seen certain things happen and you just, like, shit just don't look right. Understand what I mean? Look, let's take Tommy Morrison and Ray Mercer, right, for example. If you remember the Tommy Morrison-Ray Mercer fight, that was a brutal, vicious knockout. Tommy Morrison was winning those rounds. He got stopped and got knocked out in the third, but he was winning the fight. And he was outboxing Ray Mercer. He just got caught. He just got caught, man. And that was like, of course, that was a vicious knockout. After that fight, he was never the same fighter after that. This had nothing to do with the weight, right? He just wasn't the same fighter after that. Like, the attack wasn't the same. He was more cautious. And, his punch resistance wasn't the same. And it's like, he remembered what happened in that Ray Mercer fight. So it's like he tried to be more defensive. But in a way where, like, the people were starting to look at him and compare him to Tyson and all that and, and stuff. But it wasn't the same. See the difference with heavyweights? There's no super heavyweight. There's no, I got to go up and no. You basically want to be as conditioned as possible. You don't need to burn too much weight. You understand? It's about conditioning and being able to carry that weight as long as the fight goes. Okay? And not have your performance affected because it's too much weight that you gained or you came in too heavy or too light. The smaller division, that's what that, and point being, the heavyweights don't have that same problem. See, the smaller guys do. So if you're walking around here 190 something pounds and you're fighting at 147, it gets to the point where, yeah, you've outgrown the division. So that being said, for any fighter that goes in that ring, and that the weight is like, it's just difficult to make. It's just time to move up in weight, man. And the problem is when if you're going into a weight class that don't really have the type of names that you need. And I would feel like, look, the cruiserweight division has been dead for so long that people have to tell you who's there. And then it's like, okay. And you go pull up fights and stuff, and it's like a whole division of who? Nobody really knows these guys. Light heavyweight division is, there's not a whole lot of names there. This bridgerweight division, who the hell is there? You understand what I mean? So it's like, imagine outgrowing the light heavyweight division. And then you're going up to a cruiserweight. And like when Badu Jack, and listen, Badu Jack was a good fighter, man. But when Badu Jack is like one of the biggest names in the division, and the only reason his name came up is because he didn't. It was rumored that him and Canelo were supposed to fight, and then it never happened. It's like, damn, okay, I thought Badu Jack retired. That's what you got from people. So a lot of times people try to stay where the money is. Like, man, I got, bigger names in this division, better quality fights in this division. If I go up, I don't have that. So, look at Teofimo. He went from 135 up to 140, right? Now, if Teofimo is willing to go to 147, and he said that himself, shit, him and his father talking about fighting Canelo one day. So my thing is, how much weight you balloon up to, you have to be on top of that shit, man. And discipline, you can't blame your opponent if you don't have the discipline. And this is where I feel like some guys, a lot of them, they need to be fighting much heavier than what they are. That's why, part of why I played this clip too. It's part of everything that was said. I don't even need to go forward. Y'all get the understanding of what's happening. But like what Floyd was saying, that is what I'm talking about. A lot of guys are fighting like way smaller than they should. They need to be up in higher weight classes. Now, the thing is with Earl, I know he's close with Jamel. I don't know if he's as close with Jamal as he is with Jamel. But hey, the thing with Earl is he didn't accomplish the goal he wanted, and that was to become undisputed. If he does go to 154 and stay there, does he end up fighting Jamel at some point? Does he start to feel like, I want to become undisputed again? Think about this. If he went up to 160, Jamal is there. So, did he end up fighting Jamal? If he goes to 168, because what I don't know is if Jamel plans on staying at 168. So should Jamel beat Canelo, there'll be a rematch. But if he beats him, does he stay there or does he drop the belts and go back down to 154? I don't know. But looking at Spence, who knows? Who knows? Because if he doesn't want to be undisputed and he's just okay with just having a belt, okay, cool. Because Jamel got everything at 154. Okay, and there's other belts out there at 160, but who knows, man? Who knows? But again, and I do agree with one thing that Teofimo was saying, that you got fighters trying to kill themselves to make a certain weight class. True. But again, this is where people need to stop talking. And especially if you know that you don't plan on staying there. So you can blah, 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 but knowing we're not going to fight because I'm going up. But these guys, I don't know, man. I don't know why anybody would feel the need to make excuses for anybody, although people do. Yes, they do. All the time they make excuses. But no excuses being made about shit, man. So, again, I can't say it enough. Going to 154 does not mean he beats Crawford. And I say exactly what I said before, and I mean it. The dude didn't look right. Zab Judah didn't look right. Holyfield didn't look right. And these are things that I was saying watching these fights. Not the after effect, but watching these fights. Dude just didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens. We done heard all kind of lies and rumors, man. We didn't shit about, Errol Spence fired Derek James. Everybody jumped on that damn lie. And there's probably like 50 videos right now that you can pull up. And all these dudes are talking about, could it be or is it possible? No. Stop capping. They're just trying to get views and likes. It was even said that Roy Jones was going to be the guy training Errol Spence. Then you heard Calvin Ford. No, it's like just a bunch of silly shit. And like I said before, the only person that I heard talking about that when it was brought to my attention was Showbiz the Adult. And then all of a sudden, like that night, a bunch of videos, a bunch of lies came up. And I addressed that and left that shit alone. So when you hear these things, man, like just the ignorance, the hate. Okay, for y'all that don't know, in the community section of this channel, I posted up a photo. The photo has Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, and Terence Crawford. It shows how many world champions that they all beat. Let me show you how real the hate is. If I did it, like first off, let's say if I did it with intentions to rub it in people's face, which it does nothing for me, but let's say if that would have been the case. So what? Why would you care? But no, it's no different from 2 years ago when I posted the same type of thing, but it was Ali, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier, or something like that. And it had the same type of thing with who beat who. You want to know what's so crazy about what I just posted up with Floyd and Pacquiao and all of them? Nobody had nothing to say about nobody else's opponents, right? So somebody actually put up there that Andre Berto was a bum, and I said, response, so was Joshua Clottey and Brandon Rios. Somebody put up there, oh, Robert Guerrero wasn't elite, and it's like they only look. But here's the funny thing: you want to know? I could pull up videos of my own and go in the comment section, and other videos and people that different boxing personalities saying Andre Berto was always in exciting fights. You never know what's going to happen with him. Andre Berto was this. Andre Berto was that. And you want to know the crazy thing? Andre Berto was a name that people said, oh, Floyd should fight him. Then he got his ass whooped. Okay? He had some ups and downs. Things wasn't going the way it was supposed to. Floyd knew what his exit strategy was going to be. He knew what he was doing with Conor. And at this point, he's not blowing that $300 million. And it doesn't matter who Floyd, and listen, it doesn't matter who Floyd would have picked. Anybody, look, I don't give a fuck. Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, he beats all of them. And no matter what happens, oh, he should have, okay, so he beats Keith Thurman, he should have fought Amir Khan. If he beats Amir Khan, he should have fought Sean Porter. He beat Sean Porter, he should have fought Errol Spence. It's always going to be, he should have did this, he should have did that, he should have did that. The whole point of me posting that up there, this is the funny part, was just for people to see who, like, what each fighter did. I didn't even put a caption on that motherfucker. And I'm like, damn, look at the hate. All these motherfuckers do is find negative shit to say. And they make themselves look stupid. So the reality is this, right? There's no fighter, dead or alive, that don't have some cherry picks or some meatballs on their resume. None. But ain't it funny how out of all these people, because you could go through Floyd's list and you know what? It's people he beat that people marveled over. Yo, that dude was incredible. Yo, that dude was this. That. But when they remember Floyd beat him, well, he was old when Floyd fought him. And I'm just sitting there like, nobody said nothing about Floyd, Pacquiao, Canelo, or Terrence Crawford. Why the fuck is people even making comments trying to discredit people on that man's list? Why? Because he beat more world champions than the rest of them. And that's all it came down to. And I'm like, just look at the hate. This is the ignorance that this era of time right here, man. It produces the most ignorant, most degenerate, most just unintelligent, stupid people. They just say dumb shit. I post up a fucking a photo in the community section. Talking to the fellas about football. And we was talking about dynasties. Football dynasties. I always liked the Las Vegas Raiders. Right? When I liked the Raiders, they were Oakland. Okay? Then they went to Los Angeles, then whatever. Then Las Vegas, whatever. I didn't even put them in the equation. I put in the caption, I put like, out of all of these four dynasties, right? Like which team, which dynasty, like which Super Bowl, which team had Super Bowl wins where at their best they would have beat the other teams. I got the 2000s Patriots, the 90s Cowboys, the 70s Steelers, and the 80s San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't mind that somebody post a comment putting the team that they like in there, but people, this is what I mean about people who can't stick to a topic. I didn't ask you about the fucking Detroit Lions. I didn't ask you about the fucking Raiders. I didn't ask you about the Chicago Bears, the Miami Dolphins, and the four fucking teams that I put up there. That's what the fuck I asked you about. So when you put, stop hating, what about the D? So I put, what era was this? We talking about dynasties. Y'all don't have no fucking dynasty. They don't comprehend and understand what they're looking at. They're so salty and so immature that they respond like, did I put any team up there other than, if you're not responding on any one of the 4 teams I put up there, why are you even responding? Like I said, I like the Raiders, but the Raiders dynasty, they have 3 rings. 3. Okay? They can rival the 70s Steelers and Cowboys, and that was their biggest rivals, right? Guess what? They're not on the list. So why are we not talking about the 4 teams on the list? People don't follow instructions. They don't understand what they're looking at. We're not talking about them. Same thing. You're starting 4. You have Michael Jordan as your shooting guard. Kobe Bryant as your small forward. Larry Bird as your power forward. Right? Tim Duncan as your center. Which one of these point guards are you going to choose to complete your 5th man? I had Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Tony Parker, and Jason Kidd. Why are you putting LeBron's name in there? Why are you putting Steph Curry's name in there? Anybody? I didn't ask nobody shit about LeBron, Curry, none of them. This is what I mean. It's not my fault. It's your fault that you cannot comprehend what you read and understand. The response is about what I posted, not what the fuck you wanted me to post. That's what I mean with people, how they don't focus and pay attention on anything. And this is the same people giving their opinions on boxing and who was what and who did what and how something happened. Some of y'all puppies, motherfucker, y'all wasn't even around and y'all was outside playing with toys when a lot of these fights was happening. But y'all jumping on here talking about what happened and who did and whatever. Y'all just running with what the fucking narrative is. Listen, I'm not none of these other channels. I'm not none of these other people. When I post something about anybody, I give 0 fucks about these people on a personal level. So I don't care what happens or what people like or don't like. I don't care about none of that. What I'm posting, if I say anything, my job is not to convince you to change your mind about, like, if you say you don't like a fighter, oh, but you should. No. What I do, okay, is expose the bullshit you're doing and what you're saying, and that there's no truth to it. So when you're saying this happened, that happened, right? Then I go dig up receipts. Hit that play button and let you listen. You know what y'all motherfuckers do? Y'all don't comment. You know why? Oh shit, he was right. It's the same thing every single time. I never heard that before. Boop. Then they say it. Attitude. Like I give a fuck. I'm a man. Get out your fucking feelings. You talking to me like I'm supposed to sit there and put a bottle of pacifier in your mouth and sit there and rock from side to side and explain to you why I said what I said. If you got that soft skin and you not a fucking man, you're a little boy, stay off the fucking channel. That's all. Because the responses have nothing to do with what I'm saying. Nothing to do with what I'm saying. And people just like to be seen or heard. They need attention or something. So all of this shit, man, it comes to just the point where if we can't fucking have dialogue that makes sense, I'd rather you not say shit. Because it's like you always got these little kids that jump in there, oh, but such and such didn't do this and such didn't do that, and don't have none of the fucking facts. All they're talking about is what they wish would have happened. So basically, when you call a fighter a bum and say a guy wasn't elite, and then I catch your ass on somebody else's channel or on a different video, giving that person credit, like I said, when Anthony Joshua beat Charles Martin, he was the biggest bum on earth. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. Soon as we got this bullshit rumor about Deontay Wilder was fighting Charles Martin, And after Deontay Wilder was talking shit about AJ be taking the easy fights and all this bullshit, right? All of a sudden, all these damn minions start talking about how Charles Martin's a good fighter without him doing anything. Y'all was calling Rolly Romero a bum, an overrated hype job. Rolly Romero loses to Jackson Marinas. Didn't do nothing for like a year and a half, 2 years, what is it, something like that. He comes back, fights some meatball, gets the win, and looked bad in that fight. And all of a sudden, without doing anything, not doing anything, just having 2 bullshit fights, all of a sudden, he talked y'all into believing that he was better than Tank Davis. And I'm like, yeah, we've entered the world of casuals. Because all I was hearing is how funny he is, how hilarious he is, blah, blah, blah. You know, one of the funniest things I've seen dealing with Rolly was he was basically in some lobby somewhere, and a reporter was talking to him, and he said, hey, Rolly likes to be a comedian and talk shit. And the reporter said, hey, Rolly, do you remember the night you fought Tank Davis? And he just stood there with this dumb look on his face because he knew the dude was being sarcastic, right? And it was just like, yeah, clown shit. Clown shit. That's what got y'all to say y'all like Rolly. Nothing he do in the fucking ring. And I said, damn, just like that, Rolly went from being a clown to, oh, I like this guy. He's funny. Yo, you gotta love Rolly. Oh, y'all like the humor. Okay. Right? So what I say, Alicia Baumgarten is guilty because y'all don't like her. Hannah Gabriels is not because y'all think she's beautiful. This is the type of goofy shit that I'm saying. So anytime you say anything, it's an excuse. Nah. I remember I was watching the video, and it was a video about a woman that was, if you guys know who Kevin Samuels is, he's dead now. But Kevin Samuels was talking to this woman. This woman told Kevin Samuels that she divorced her husband because he got cancer. And it was costing her money. Cancer changed her. It changed him. And this is, it's like I did everything in my power to, this and that. And Kevin Samuels shut that shit down. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all his ideals and logics in terms of lifestyle. That's his business. I don't have to agree with him. I don't get caught in that. I just looked at his show for what it was doing. People was telling me about him. And it was a long time before I actually finally watched anything that he said. But when I did see it, I liked the fact that he shut down the bullshit. He's not sitting there going, damn, she fine as hell though. God damn, No, he shoot that shit down. Why? Here's a bunch of gold digging motherfuckers. Gimme. This generation is all about high value, low value, right? So he asked this woman, are you a Christian? No, because she knew where he was going with that. You said your wedding vows? Yeah, I know, for sickness and health, the death do its part for riches. But right, he said, so you didn't mean none of that. Do you guys remember? And I never saw, in fact, the only time I seen a Kevin Samuels video, he was dead already. So it was like maybe a good 2 years before I was hearing about him, and I forget this other guy name. But I had never watched him. And I ended up watching the video based on someone. No, he died. And it just came up in my own, I never typed his name in, never, nothing. I had just heard of him. But the bottom line was, you heard me say years ago, in case for those who did, I said, it's like a person now, they get married, but it's not about the marriage. They're focused on the wedding, not the marriage. And that's why you have so many failed marriages. Because that one day was special. Now y'all done made babies, kids, more responsibility. You become damaged goods mentally and then physically. You have no more desire. everything about you start to change. And it becomes me. You got people that blame the kids. You did this to me. It's close to you. I don't have a life. And shit like that happens, right? You talking to someone like that don't have a brain, don't have a thinking process. It's like talking to this damn table. So I'm sitting here saying, well, damn, do y'all not understand the climate? The type of people that you're surrounded with, me, everybody. Do y'all not understand what's going on? So basically, the wedding vows meant nothing to her. It was just the routine to say, I do, now we officially married. Well, guess what? That same woman isn't dead, but I bet you she wish she was, because now she's a paraplegic, but got her mind and her sense living up in a nursing home. So now she got a lot of time to sit back and think about how the fuck she treated her husband. Point with a lot of people is, it takes something to happen to them for them to wake up. Shit like this in life, what people don't understand. Sometimes people ask me like, man, Aries, don't waste your time. Then why you worrying about them, man? You know what? Don't even worry. No. I'm not worried about anything. Okay? The reason that I take the time to break things down and explain shit is because a lot of these dummies need an education. They don't know anything. You know, when Bob Marley was alive, you know, Bob Marley thought that he could bring the world closer through music, right? Positive vibes only. Bob Marley was asked, why is it that you like dedicate every day of your life to making peace and love? Like, why is that? Which to me was a dumbass question. Bob Marley responded something to the effect of, because the people that make the world bad every single day don't take a day off, and they apply themselves every day to make problems. Beautiful answer, especially because it comes from the heart, not because of the words, but because it came from the heart. You understand? I could sit here and hear a lot of shit. You know how much shit I hear that I don't say nothing about? But it's like, then you see video of a bunch of lies, and it's like, nah, especially when I got receipts for it. You notice the truth gets less attention. Lies and drama and bullshit gets more attention. So my role is to tell the truth. My role is not to make you like a fighter. My role is not to make you, see bullshit and accept it. It's to make you, to bring shit to your attention, to bring awareness of what's going on, and to bring the truth out. So what happens when you realize, damn, I've been lied to all this time. I thought such and such a thing, but now I see blah, blah, blah. So when somebody tell you that never happened, I never seen that, but then I play it for you. Doesn't that let you see that you're sharing the comment section with a bunch of liars, a bunch of egotistical, immature, uneducated on what they're speaking of type of people? Remember I said to you guys before, it amazes me when all these real young guys sit here and say LeBron's the GOAT and Steph Curry was the GOAT and all these people, right? And then naming all these people saying that they were better than Jordan. Then they watch a 16-minute long Michael Jordan Bulls mixtape and go, I can't front Jordan the GOAT. I ain't know he was hooping like that. Right. You never seen him ball, but you just automatically assume he wasn't as good as the people that you named based on what? Hearsay, and because they're closer to your generation. What does that have to do with skill for skill in that court? So you're making judgment based on someone that you never even seen ball. You wearing his shoes though, right? But this is the point what I'm saying. People speak a lot more about shit. The less they know, the more they talk about something. You never seen the man play. So how the hell you come and ask me who you think will win between this person and that person? I don't know. I've never seen that person play. So I don't know. You understand what I mean? They don't know how to say that. No, they have an answer for everything. So when I tell you, you run your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about, that's exactly what it comes down to. Because what you're saying don't even add up. How in the hell can you be that stupid that I'm speaking about a basketball player I never seen ball, but I'm saying that he's not as good as this one, this one, and this one? Just to change your mind in 16 minutes. No different from y'all sitting up here watching boxing matches. Oh, Fury. Oh, Lomachenko. Oh, Canelo. And who? Yeah, that's what y'all do. So when somebody says something that y'all don't like, I don't give a shit if you don't like what I say. But I bet you when I pull them receipts up, it's the same thing. Like I said. It's like I said. If right now, who's hated fighters? Floyd is hated. Anthony Joshua is hated. You know, whoever else, the Charlos. So if I was to say something about them that was more pointing to a downside about them, yeah, Aries, you know what you're talking about. It's my man. But when I say something basically bringing awareness to the truth and bringing the truth to the light, then I'm wrong because y'all hate them. Like, I remember somebody said, yo, I see why you hate Wilder. I'm like, when I ever told you I hate Wilder, I don't know that dude. How the fuck I don't like a lot of the goofy shit that I've seen him do. As I said before, I don't sit up here, I'm watching the motherfucker train, then all of a sudden he just busts out and fold his lips, arch his back, put his hands on his fucking knees and start twerking his ass. What the bruh? No, I don't like that kind of shit. I don't want to see him doing that shit. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shit like that. And then the fact that the dude was telling lies, just saying shit, and then again, pull up the receipts. Instead of just realizing, oh shit, that did happen. It's an excuse. It always, but nothing. Nothing. So yeah, everything you say now, oh, you making an excuse for that person. Oh, how come you wasn't saying that before? Like somebody made a dumbass comment talking about, oh, how come you ain't say so? Some fighter, he said, and I'm like, because dumbass, I didn't have a YouTube channel when that fucking fight happened. And guess what? YouTube wasn't even invented yet, dummy. And just for the record, that when I did create a YouTube channel, the first thing coming to my mind wasn't, I got to make a video about that shit that happened 10 years ago. It's just so childish. Somebody says to me one day, Barry Sanders was better than Bo Jackson. I responded, the fuck you telling me for? Simply because somebody asked me in the comment section what team that I like, and I said the Raiders. Well, I don't give a fuck about none of these people personally. Y'all gonna watch this video and don't be surprised when you got the dumbass that watch it and still lost in the sauce about everything. Don't understand common sense. This is why, like I said, I just block and delete a lot of people because your comments are stupid. And basically, I don't want to give any life to your poison. You know, you calling a fighter a bum don't mean shit. I can call a fighter a bum. But I bet you if I call a motherfucker a bum, his record fits the description. His level of competition fits the description. But you guys say this shit out of hate because I don't like this guy, that guy. And then y'all claim people making excuses, but y'all sit up here and make all the excuses in the world. A fighter either he's too big. Like when I say y'all talk about Canelo. But when he's too small for Bivol, you got to understand, man, he's too... Wait. So you're saying he's too small for Bivol because he shouldn't be fighting at light heavyweight. You're not saying the same thing about Jamel Charlo coming from 154 to 168. He ain't never fought at 168 before. You're not making that same excuse for him. Okay, but the same way, where was that energy? Right, where was that same energy that you talking about, right? Big mouth. When Canelo went up to 175 and knocked out Kovalev. He wasn't too small for light heavyweight then, right? So he says he's unbeatable at 168. That's what you say, right? So Bivol calls him out, and now all of a sudden, Bivol just capped. How is he capping? The protection is around Canelo because Mauricio Sulaiman is not going to let him defend the WBC to Bivol. So Canelo has nothing. What does Bivol have to prove at 175? He just beat his ass, right? And it wasn't even close. No, I want your belts. We fought for mine. Now I want to come to 168 and fight you for your belt. Canelo know that fight not going to happen, so he can pretend all he want that he want to fight Bivol. No, he doesn't. You know, Floyd comes from 130, 135 to go 130 to come all the way up. He fought, like he said, he fought Oscar De La Hoya on his terms. And when I say things like, when Floyd beat De La Hoya, then you turn around and say, oh, he waited for Oscar to get old. First off, they wasn't even in the same weight class for the majority of his fucking career, which is a fact. It's funny how he was old when Floyd fought him. Guess who fought him after Floyd? Manny Pacquiao. Somehow, he wasn't old anymore. He found the fountain of youth, but Canelo was just devastating. Pacquiao was just devastating, right? Y'all said the same shit about Shane. Oh, man, he waited for Shane to get old. Didn't I just pull the receipts up about all that shit? And you know now that Shane was the one that turned the fucking fight down, not Floyd? Yeah, and Floyd's the one that called him out. Now, facts. And then when you show the video, like I said, y'all tuck y'all tail and run. He waited for him to get fucking old. Nah, bullshit. And you know the crazy thing about it? Shane Mosley, he was 38. He just knocked out Margarito, right? Cheating ass Margarito. Big bad Margarito, nobody wanted to fight. Yeah, bum ass, cheating ass Margarito. And all of a sudden, what happens? Shane is here, Shane is back, Shane is looking sharp, blah, blah, blah. Emmanuel Stewart, that night he was calling that shit down the middle, what he was seeing, because I was seeing it pretty much the same way that he was seeing the fight. And I was like, okay, whatever. But ain't it funny how they celebrated Shane's win? And basically, yo, this is the performance of Shane. Like Shane did this and Shane, this is the, yeah, okay, right? But then all of a sudden, the night he fights Floyd, he has 2 good moments, 2 good rounds, and then all of a sudden, oh, he was old. Guess who fought him after Floyd? Manny Pacquiao. But somehow Shane wasn't old the night he fought Manny Pacquiao. The night he fought Manny Pacquiao, just like Oscar, he found the fountain of youth. And all of a sudden, Pacquiao was just devastating. But nobody said he was old, right? Okay. Guess who else fought him after that? Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo wins the fight. So you know what y'all didn't say? Canelo was too young. Because he won. And in fact, y'all might not have even said, well, the diehard Canelo fans might have still made an excuse if Shane would have won, but you want to know what they didn't say? Shane was too old. Nope, they just said, yo, that go to show you, yo, this kid is great. Look at how he did this and how he did that. And yeah, right. It's just that when he fought Floyd, he was too young. He was a baby, a 23-year-old baby with 40 plus fights under his belt. You got motherfuckers 27, 28, still got 15 fights, 12 fights. They still don't, this motherfucker had 40, over, I think 40 or 41 fights, 42 fights, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I say this type of shit and y'all get upset, I don't give a fuck, but look at the facts. How the fuck are you old in 2018? You fight somebody 2019, 2020, somehow you're not old anymore. How? Explain that. Y'all know that make no damn sense. So all of this shit that I'm talking about, it's come like full circle of just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit after bullshit that people just make up things to talk about, make up complaints, jump on the bandwagon with whatever the popular thing is to say about that fighter. Right now, even like, we got Shakur Stevenson versus Frank Martin. And I said in the video, I changed what the fuck I say. Let's say if he actually was to beat Shakur. Hey, kudos to you, Frank Martin. I was wrong. What the fuck? And I say, I think it's going to be a chess match. But I think eventually Shakur Stevenson, his experience is going to come out. Frank Martin going to have to be busy. Because his usual style, he don't throw enough punches. And basically, like, he don't have the footwork, man. If Shakur is on top of his shit, especially, like, Shakur gonna start to pick him apart. And basically, it's shit can happen in the fight. But I say I see Shakur winning this fight, man. Like, like I said, let's say Frank Martin come in, all of a sudden he's better than he was before. Who knows? But from what I've seen in both fighters, I think Shakur got this. What the fuck would I change my stance for? I mean, if it turns out that Frank Martin was the win, I would just tell you, hey, Frank Martin did what he's supposed to. The fuck you want from me? All I did was said I think Shakur gonna win. The fuck is wrong with you, right? Like, no, I'm not telling you I believe it, so you should believe it too. No, you think what the fuck you want. I don't care. I don't care. Well, oh man, why you hating on Frank Martin? Like, yo, y'all are so childish, so stupidly ignorant. You're hating on someone because you have a difference of opinion. You ain't said nothing about this dude in a negative way, and even if I was, so fucking what? If I would tell Frank Martin this shit to his face, what the fuck you think I'm gonna tell you to yours? The fuck I care about what you, or why you hate. Everything is hate. Like, man, y'all can't have women in y'all life. Y'all gotta be like one of them PlayStation nerds. Just sit up playing games like Call of Duty and probably be like yelling with the headphones on and shit and really think that y'all got soldiers in y'all living room trying to kill y'all or something. Like, y'all take the pettiest shit to heart. Whatever happens, happens. I don't personally care, man. The people that run boxing don't even give a fuck about legacy and all that shit. No, all they care about is money, money, money. Why the fuck would I care more than they do? So when you hear these content creators talk about, you know, the sport that I love in boxing, it pisses me off when these people do this. And no, it don't piss me the fuck off. You need to chill the fuck out, sit back and realize, man, this is just a fucking business, a sport. And the people that's directly in it don't give a fuck. So why do you? You think you getting high blood pressure gonna make boxing change? No. I don't personally care. I'm not betting money on this fucking fight. I don't give a shit. So who wins, wins. What I'm saying is, overall, we have far too many casual motherfuckers that come on all these channels, not just mine, come on these channels, and they always got something dumb to say and don't know what the fuck they be talking about. It just, the shit they say just makes no sense. So, you know what I'm saying? If Frank Martin was to beat Shakur, so fucking what? Then that would mean I was wrong and he won. And it is what it is. So if you hear Aries say a fighter didn't look right, I'm never saying that shit to make excuses. If you hear Aries say, I think a certain fighter will beat another fighter, and it's pretty much who cares, right? But I got the right to my opinion. It's not about what the fuck you want me to think. This is where people are so, y'all like these Uber drivers, right? These Uber customers, rather. You jump in somebody's car, and because you're paying, you think you can just light up a cigarette or talk all kind of ways or kick your feet up in or whatever, like you home in your bedroom or something. And then when they kick you out their fucking car, you know, it's an attitude like, what did you do wrong? This is somebody's personal car. When your funky, sweaty, musty ass isn't in it, their kids is in it, their family's in it, and you jump in somebody's car and don't have the common courtesy and the respect to respect that this is someone's car. You see this, they're attacking Uber drivers, punching them and spitting on them and all that kind of goofy shit. And it's like, hey, they look at these Uber drivers as some soft motherfuckers. Because sometimes you want to pretend to be one just so somebody can flip out and I can teach them, pull that motherfucker over and let them know. Yeah, this is what happens when you put your hands on people, motherfucker. Like, it's just one of these things where, like, I'm just talking to y'all souls right now, for real. Like, I didn't say what I wanted to say a long time ago, like, you know, as far as that. But this is like, yo, this is what we dealing with. And this is why I go out my way to expose buffoonery. It's too much lies and bullshit. Fuck rumors. Too many lies and bullshit being spoken about in life, period. So we on this boxing channel and all these motherfuckers come here with their feelings like a bunch of sensitive ass females. And y'all supposed to be men. I had a motherfucker come on the channel one time talking about, hey man, I ain't really trying to see you sitting there with your shirt off. Well, that's what you doing, you dumb motherfucker, because nobody asked you nothing about my body. Your dumb ass sitting there watching and you're not. So when you watch a boxing match, do you sit there and watch with your eyes closed because they shirtless? When you watch a boxer being interviewed, do you sit there and close your eyes because the dude is shirtless? Nobody made you fucking watch. It would be really easy to just click that off button and go and watch something else. So you got to answer yourself, why is it I don't like what I see? But I'm going to continue to watch. That's a personal problem. It ain't nothing to do with me. I'm supposed to sit here, oh, well, yo, let me go get, no, fuck you. Stay off my channel. Right, I might make you watch. Hey, who the fuck you think you are? I'm gonna go put my shit on. Like, you don't run this motherfucker. I do. You don't have to watch. Simple. So yeah, the stupidity is real. Anyway, I just wanted to get all that shit off my chest. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. No, let me rephrase that. Intelligent people only. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.